to the Lash YouTube channel. I'm here in my new filming space and I am so excited to start making more regular videos to help educate and prepare new, beginner, or even some more seasoned lash artists. I have 5 years in the industry and I feel like I'm pretty qualified to give some good advice. As some of y'all know, I used to have employees and I decided that that was not the route for my business, and so I just had this room sitting here empty. I called it my hot mess room because it was a hot mess, and I decided to turn it into a super cute filming space, so hopefully y'all like it. So today I wanted to kind of talk about how my business came to be and kind of the history behind this space. You might not know, but this building that we're in, it literally is a barn. It's over 100 years old and it has a lot of really cool history. This barn has had a lot of eras and this one is my favorite, just saying, but yeah, we'll get right into it. So as I said a second ago, the barn is over 100 years old. It is original to the property, which has been here since the late 1800s from what I've been told, which is so cool that I get to work in a little piece of Texas history. This area was settled a very long time ago, and this building, and then there's a small little building next to us, as well as that bigger barn. That one's slightly newer, but newer as in like the 20s, I believe. This barn I know has been used as like storage for an antique shop. It's been a purse store, a children's boutique. It's been a lot, not just, you know, the place for animals. So I got the keys to the barn on January 1st, 2024. So we just celebrated a year in January. And I kind of found this place by coincidence. My mom had booked Christmas family photos and we kind of waited till the last minute, and she found a photographer who was based here in Bracken Village, and I had no clue this place existed. I had lived in Texas for 10 years and had probably driven by here and never knew it was here. And so we went and saw the photographer here, and we were kind of on the other side of the village, and I noticed this small building and the sign outside of it was for an esthetician. I'm like, oh my gosh, this place is so cute. I was looking for a new place to have my business because I wanted more space. I wanted to expand and I was ready for the next step, but I did not want to pay salon suite prices and all the stuff that comes with having a salon suite. And so my mom and I came back the next day and we walked around. We met with the property owner, and I originally was gonna go with the smaller building next door, but there were a few things that I just didn't like and I knew would be annoying to me having a business in there, especially with what I do. Like, I need space. I have a lot of stuff. And so the property owner was like, well, you can go look at this one. It's twice the size and it's only like, I think it was like $200 more a month. And so I instantly fell in love. I'll have to put some pictures in so that you can see what I was working with, because it was not nearly as cute as it is now. It was very barny. The wood walls, concrete floor, the roof, you know, it's a metal tin roof. It's exposed. You could maybe see it in this video. But it was very shabby chic. The previous tenant had left these tulle curtains over the windows that had like dead bugs and spider webs, and they smelled. But I knew that this was where I needed to be. We had pictures on Christmas Eve, and then my mom and I toured it, not the next day, but the following day, the day after, 2 days later, the day after Christmas. And then I had the keys by the 1st. So it all happened in under a week, which is kind of crazy, but I knew this was the place for me and I didn't want anyone else to snatch it up. And the owner kind of gave me a little bit of FOMO, like, oh, other people are looking at it. I'm like, okay, sold, I'll take it. But I got the keys here and we spent our New Year's Day cleaning. We were wearing masks, like big old masks, because this place was full of dust, was full of dead bugs. It was gross, honestly. You know, it's a barn in the country that was left sitting for almost a year, so you know it's gonna collect some stuff. And so Austin and I spent our New Year's Day and honestly the next month just cleaning, getting everything ready. Um, this room was especially bad. I don't know why, but the barn needed a lot of love. So spent our whole basically month doing that, and honestly it was so worth it. I love this building so much. There's a lot of things that are hard that come with being in a super old building. For one, this building is not insulated, so I'm constantly having to run the air conditioner or the heater because my supplies are super temperature and humidity sensitive. And for some reason that is not something that I thought of before signing the lease here, but I still felt like you just know that feeling when something just feels so right and like those little things don't really matter. That's kind of how I felt about here. I feel like it was definitely meant to be. Like, of all the photographers in this huge city, my mom chose that one that she had availability. Like, it was just meant to be. So now that I've kind of told you about how the barn came to be and all that, I wanted to tell you guys kind of how I even got my start in aesthetics and in lashes. We'll go back to 2019. So I had gone to school for hospital admin. I was working in the ER. COVID started, like even before everyone knew about COVID, and that fall before everyone was sick. And looking back, now we all know what it was, but I was in the middle of that working in the ER, and I honestly hated it. I hated my job. I felt like my life sucked. I was just ready for a change. And one day I was sitting with my mom in my parents' backyard on the porch, and we were just talking about like how much I was struggling and how I wish things were different and that I thought my life would be one way when really it was another. And she kind of put the seed in my mind like, well, you can do something else. You don't have to do this forever. And so later that night, I was randomly on the BuzzFeed app, and there was a quiz that was like, your ideal career or something like that. And I'm like, oh, okay, cool. I have no clue what I'm doing. So, this quiz will tell me what I need to do, right? And so I took it, and it said I should be an esthetician and that it was a great match for me, blah, blah, blah. I'm like, huh, I would totally do that. I saw an esthetician in high school for my acne, and at the time, I didn't know that there was so much more to being an esthetician than like popping zits. Like, we literally called her the zit lady because, I was 14. I didn't really know like what an esthetician was. Anyway, so I was like, okay, an esthetician, facials, that sounds cool. I'd way rather do that than be dealing with people who don't understand their insurance at the ER. And so I looked into a couple schools in my area, and I had set up a consultation with one, and I decided to go with them, and I started school like 2 months later. It was pretty quick. And so I did school. It was like 6 months, and it was okay. It's just like with any education, it does not fully prepare you for the real world of your job. But I finished school, and I was just so desperate for a job right out of school. I applied to like so many different places, but tales all the time, everyone wants experience. And so I interviewed at this waxing place, and it was so far away. It was like by Six Flags, and I'm on the other side of town, like north. Like, I'm up here, Six Flags is like over here. And they offered me the position. I think they liked that I had a lot of medical experience, but I just got raging mean girl vibes from the person that was interviewing me. And like, the front desk girl wasn't super friendly like when I checked in for my interview, and the vibes were not there. And so I called my boyfriend, and I was like crying. I'm like, I thought this would be easier, like sob story. And a few days later, I got a call from Amazing Lash, and they, I guess, had seen my resume on Indeed or LinkedIn, I can't remember, and wanted me to come in for an interview. I'm like, lashes? Eh. I had done some lashes in school. I got certified, which was a bunch of baloney because I was literally doing everything wrong. But I did it 10 times, so that made me a certified lash artist in my school's eyes. Anyways, so I interviewed and they offered me the position, and I started like a week later. I started the day after my birthday, and that was a whole experience that I will probably talk about another time, because those 10 months it was not great, but that's where I got the foundation for everything I have now. So we'll talk about my experience at that place later, but I was there for 10 months and I worked my way up from like the very beginner level 1, I can't even remember what it's called, stylist, up to a master stylist in about 10 months, which I guess was really fast. And after being a master stylist for maybe like a month, I had been having a lot of issues with the management. It was just, I felt like I was in high school again, very much like picking favorites. If you do something she doesn't like, she completely shuns you. Like when I put in my 2 weeks, she did not talk to me those 2 weeks at all. She completely ignored me, which I said we'll talk about another time, so I won't go any further into that. That was just my experience. But I had gone to this random nail salon and got my nails done, and I was talking with the girl, her name is Jackie, we're still good friends, and she was like, well, we have a room here if you want to rent it. I'm like, okay. And I saw it. It was tiny. It was probably a little more than half the size of this room, so it was small. No windows, there was like no ventilation, but I'm like, cool, I'm ready to go off on my own. I built up a pretty solid clientele where I was, and so I got that space maybe in like October-ish, and I wasn't supposed to do this, but that place doesn't exist anymore, so it's fine, or at least the location I was at. But I had told some of the clients that I really loved, that I knew would follow me and wouldn't like rat me out, that I was telling them I was leaving, and so they all followed me. So I already had like an 85% full schedule. I was 100% booked at Amazing Lash all the time, but there were some people I did not want to bring with me. I did not want them to know where I was. They were clients I just did not want to work with anymore. And so I told that select few, and I'm really proud to say I'm still seeing like 50% of those people like 5 years later. They have followed me from the nail salon to like that home studio that I had, and now here. And I'm proud of that, that I was able to keep them from, even when I kind of sucked at lashes and they were not great, to now when I'm very confident in my artistry. So I rented that nail salon for a few months. It was really loud. It was very loud. It was hot. There was no ventilation in that room. I think there was a lot of things. The owner was very nice, but it just was not for me. So I was only there for a few months. And then my husband and I got married, and we got a house. And right when you walk into that house, there are these like pretty double glass doors that go into this office, and it was a little bit bigger than this room, and it was perfect. Like I saw that, I was sold. So I moved my business there and was there for like almost 2 years. And we knew that we were going to be moving from that house. We were just renting. They were increasing our rent. The house was old. It just wasn't worth it. My husband was like kind of having a career change, and so that's when I got the barn, and when we had the Christmas pictures and all that you already know. But now been here for over a year, and it's been awesome. We do customized lash extensions, luxe lash lifts, keratin infused brow lammies, and facial waxing. And we also have like a super cute like retail kind of boutique area out there. And I just feel so blessed. Like sometimes I just sit here and I'm like, dang, I did all that by myself. like with no loans, like all by myself. And it's kind of crazy to think like, ugh, I used to just sit at the ER and be like, what is my life? Like, I hate this. And now I can come to work and I get to make people feel pretty. That's my job. Like, who wouldn't want that? And so anytime I'm like, oh, I am so overwhelmed, I'm so stressed, I have a million and one things to do, I'm like, girl, you could be working at the ER still. I'm like, okay, I'll stop complaining. Just because it is true, you know, things could, I hate the saying, like, oh, things could be worse, but it's true. They could be. And I am really excited to kind of share more about like how I got here to help you get to where you want to be. When I first started my career, there were a lot of people like that did lashes and this and that. It's even bigger now. Like social media was not nearly as big. I mean, it was big, but not like the marketing essential that it is now, you know, compared to 5 years ago. And so I want to help, you know, people that are navigating this and know that you're not alone. And I am a huge, huge, huge believer in community over competition. I cannot stand when people like gatekeep things like, oh, I'm not going to tell her what adhesive I use. Like, there's enough clients for everyone. There are millions of people in the world that want lash extensions, and there are plenty of clients to go around. So if you're ever like, hey, what adhesive do you use? What bonder do you like? I'm going to tell you. I'm not going to be like, well, you know, here's my Amazon storefront or like this or that. Like, no, I'm going to tell you. I don't have the emotional availability for like mean girl attitude, you know? Like, I want to help everyone. I want everyone to be happy. I want everyone to succeed. And if I can do it, you know, coming from this girl that had no clue what she wanted with her life to now having this, you know, you can totally do it too. It is 100% doable. It's going to be hard. You're going to cry probably a lot like I did. But eventually you'll get exactly where you need to be. So hopefully we got to know each other a little bit better in this video. I apparently am a yapper, so hopefully this doesn't end up being too long, but I'm excited for future videos I'm going to film in here. I have this super cute desk set up, so I'm going to do tutorials and just honestly showcase everything there is to know about being a lash artist and how amazing of a career it is. And yeah, I will see you guys in the next video. Bye!